Happy New Year from the hidden plot. We are back out today. Yes, it is January. Yes, it is cold and the ground is frozen, but that doesn't stop us from being here. So, sun's out, doors open. We're going to try and get this aired because it's looking a bit condensation-y. You can probably see it dripping every now and again. It's a bit solid. We've had a couple of icicles in here as well, but it's fine. We've got the tubers are doing great. They've dried out nicely, so we split a couple of those. But today the main focus is obviously, with it being outside is frozen, we don't want to be working anything out there until that's raised a bit. So in the meantime, we're going to do some seeds. So this year what we've been doing is we grew some sweet peas last year. So we saved a load of the seeds, if you remember, and we gave quite a few out. Oh, now I can't get back into this. How did I do this then? So in here, because we soaked them overnight in a glass of water and then I filtered them out this morning, are the sweet pea seeds. Let's not try and drop them everywhere. But by soaking them overnight, obviously they sort of open up a bit. As you can see, they almost double in size. It's quite nice. And you can see like the green fleshiness on the inside. So we're going to plant some of those up. Now obviously bearing in mind it is only January, we're not going to plant all of our seeds up today. There are certain things, see everything's dripping everywhere. There are certain things that like to be done in January. So hidden plot seeds, that's those. We're also going to have a go at the pack tray. We've got some lemon herb grass, and then I don't know if people remember, but last year we ripped out a lot of our garden, so we're going to plant up some bits as well for our garden this year. So these are all ones that say, you know, you should do them at the start of the year. They all sort of have different instructions on them, so we're making sure that we are following those. It does help when they come with growing instructions. Anyway, let's see how we get on. Okay, so quick read at the back. What we're going to do is we've got a tray here which has got about 50 capsules in, and we've got about 50 seeds here. So what we're going to do is we're going to fill that up with full of compost and then put a seed in each one. So that'll be the sweet peas. In this one we're going to do the pak choi. So obviously we don't want to do loads of pak choi, so we're just going to do two rows, so that'll give me 10, and then we're just going to put a seed in each one of those. I'm not going to do the lemongrass today because if you actually read the instructions, it says that you need to put them in a seed tray, which we have, and then put the seed tray in a clear polythene bag, which we don't have today. So we'll leave those ones for now, and we will come back because we're still early January, we've got plenty of time. And then in this tray over here, same thing again. We're going to get the verbena, and we're going to put a couple of modules full, and then we're going to drop some seeds in there. So let's get cracking. Now I am an absolute clash of colours today. Isn't it beautiful? But hey, gardening isn't always about style. So starting with our compost, luckily we had some left over from last year, so I don't have to go too far to get it. We're just going to fill the little capsules up, make sure it's all spread around. We don't obviously, when you're doing it, because we're doing seeds, we don't want any big thick clumps like this, so just pull them out as we go. Make sure we sort of give it a bit of a, it's like when you're cooking or you're baking and you know your flour, you don't want lumps of it in your flour because otherwise you then get lumps of flour in your cake. Growing seeds is very much the same, so you just sort of want to sieve it basically through your fingers and break the clumps up, especially when it's been cold, and luckily this has stayed moist over the winter. You just want to break it up. Make sure you get it right up to the edges, making a mess, because let's face it, gardening without a bit of mess is not a lot of fun. Alright, and then we're just going to sort of go through and fill up the ones that I've missed. Again, twigs and stuff. Because it's multi-seed. You can obviously buy seedling compost. I'm just being lazy. Got a bit spare in this one, so I'll just shut that next door. So that should be 50 modules now of compost, and that's all for the sweet peas. Now I have noticed I forgot my pen, so I'm just going to put the seed mixture in because it's an empty seed packet. I'm just going to put them in there, and now I can't get them back in there without my gloves off. There we go. Right, so and gently pour this out into the tub. There's a method in the madness in bringing the tub, and like I say, there should be approximately 50 seeds in there. There we go. Seeds. My mum's probably at home going, that's my pot. Okay. And then that's not going to work with my finger. So I'll have one of these. So what you want to do is obviously just make a little hole in it. Doesn't need to be too deep, probably about 1 centimetre or so. Ooh, hello. And then grab your seeds and pop them in, one in each one. And they're sticky little buggers. And then, now anyone that knows me knows that I'm not a fan of gardening with gloves on. However, New Year's resolution, oh, we've lost a seed, is to try and be better with the gardening front and not wear gloves. Same with like when I potter around the garden at home. Must wear shoes. Because last year I did drop a brick on my foot and I fractured it in 4 places. But I didn't realise that for about 4 weeks. Okay, so then we're just going to cover them back over and voila! Happy seeds. So I'll do the rest of the tray and I'll speed it up. So that's the sweet peas done. Now last year my sweet peas were a little bit behind, which is part of the reason why we're growing them so early this year, and I'm also planning on doing them in stages. My hope is that down the sides of the polytunnels, obviously we've got some of the beds there, so I'm hoping that I can put like a frame at the end and grow them up that way, just because we've got like some sheds behind us, so it's just to make it a bit prettier. So it's basically where the sunflowers were last year, but we're doing this early, and also by doing them out in the polytunnel. Yes, it is cold out here, but actually sweet peas prefer the cold, and I didn't realise this last year because obviously it's all new, we're all learning, and it was actually somebody else that said to me they're looking leggy and they're not doing very well because you've still got them at home in the windowsill, so they were too warm. So I'm going to try a set here and I'm going to try a set at home, and if these don't germinate in a week or two, I'll take them home and I'll put them in the sunshine too, and we'll see what's going on. So these are the ones that, like I say, these are the ones I grew last year. I've got another packet at home that my mother-in-law has given me, and they're from her garden last year. Beautiful pink, bigger heads as well, so we'll see how we get on with those. And then I've probably got like another 4 packets of sweet peas at home, but we'll see how we get on. I'm not planning on just growing lots of sweet peas. So next one on the list is obviously pak choi. So I'm going to do the soil. Like I say, I'm going to get the seed trays ready. Then actually they feel quite fine, the seeds, so I'm going to actually have to take my gloves off and break rule number 1 on day 1, and I'll hopefully sprinkle them on and then put some more compost on the top, just sort of it does say that they need to be lightly covered, so we'll see how we get on with that. There you go. Don't know if you can see this. Oh, camera's up the other end. But they are incredibly small. They're almost like poppy seed size. Ooh, hello. So we definitely don't want these. You definitely don't want to be handling these with gloves on. So we're just going to put a couple of these in each one. And then cover them lightly with some compost. Quite like this nursery. So this is a nursery I haven't used seeds from, but everything seems very like environmentally friendly. So it's like this can be recycled, this can all be recycled, and it comes with all the instructions. It's quite good. We bought a load of their tomato seeds last year, and I'm going to try them out this year. But yeah, year seed packaged was obviously 2020, and it says sow by end of. But hey, whoever sows them all by the end of when we're supposed to. So that's that. Gloves back on. Cover them up. And last but not least, verbena. So again, this one needs to be about 0.5 centimetre deep, so not quite as deep as the sweet peas, but deep enough. So I might do these the same way I've done the pak choi, in that I'll put the compost in first, and then I'll put the seeds on, and then I'll put some compost on top. Oh, these sound pretty fine as well. So we could end up with like 3 of these, or we could end up with 20. I'm sure I will still find room for them in the garden. Oh my word. Okay, you see these little things on my hand that look like just pepper or bits of soil? Yeah, that's a seed. So there you have it, that's the seed trays done. Not a bad start to the year. And quick and easy to tidy up. So that's the seed trays done. So we know we've got the verbena out on the right, we've got the sweet peas on the left, and I'm hoping to God I remember that the pak choi is in the middle. I'm also hoping that I remember to take the rest of the seed out. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, we have got what we call now, dahlias. So we put a load of these around the pond last year, hopefully you do remember them. And then obviously we had to dig them up, we've dried them out, because some of them have just got so big, they obviously needed splitting. So what we've done this morning is we have split some. See, it's a lot smaller than it should have been, or it was. And then the plan is obviously to plant them up. However, I thought I had a load of plant pots here and I don't. So I'll have to come back another day and do them. But just to give you an overview while we're here, the lavender looks like it's doing really, really well. Hopefully we can get that in the ground this year. We then have down here, so this is our grapevine. As you can see, it's full of bud. Seems to be doing alright, so we're keeping that fleeced and warm. And then behind me, this was a friend's dad's blueberry bush. And again, it is absolutely full of bud. It's doing really well. So we gave it a good chop at the end of last year, just to sort of try and get its shape a bit more. We had a lot of branches rubbing against each other, so as you can see, there's some damage in places. But it'll be good. It'll be really good. And then just taking you outside, one frozen pond. And again, all the flowers, so that they've all been dug up. They're all on the side. We've got everything covered. Try and keep the beds warm. And same again this end. I've got this one covered. And we've covered all the back, because the aim is obviously that's where we were putting all the weeds, all the grass clumps, all the excess soil. So the plan this year is obviously to get that killed off, which is why it's all covered. So it's been covered probably since the end of October, mid-November. So hopefully by the time we sort of uncover it towards the end of February, it should have hopefully all died off. And there is obviously some work that we need to do to our raspberries, because they're the canes that we think might have survived. Strawberries needs a bit of a clear out as well. That bed had all the sweet peas in, so we just need to give that a good weed. And then our leeks, so bless them, they're looking a bit sad. But we'll see. Again, they were a bit late going in the ground. So that's everything from us today. So yes, it is January. Yes, it is cold and it is wet. But do this. There you go. Lovely. But that shouldn't stop you from getting on with any of your jobs. There is still plenty of things that we can be seeding at this time of year. So then they're ready come Easter time, April, May, June. And then, like I say, once the ground's sort of softened up a bit, we can get out there and do some more work. Right, we will see you all soon. Take care. Bye.